got? S. Dr. Doom theory.
And I
That is loud. Doom.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Crush.
The Fantastic Four movie
I
cannot come any quicker,
Doctor
bro.
Doom theory that explains why Robert
Just
Downey
one more
Jr.
week.
just had to be cast as Doctor Doom. So we're going to combine a couple of our past theories, some ideas we've seen around social media, and combine that with quotes from the Russo brothers. And we think that we have finally solved a great multiversal puzzle of why is Tony Stark now Doctor Doom? The theory is a lot of fun, so let's get started. Now, when they
Iron
announced
Man
that Robert
Doom.
Downey Jr. was coming back as Doctor Doom, the reactions ranged from
yes!
to, but most of us were more like this.
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
Now, during our live shows, when I would ask people about this, most people seemed confused or indifferent about the casting. And I have said many times, because Doctor Doom is my favorite comic book villain, that I want to see him done accurately as the Monarch of Latveria and not as a variant of Tony Stark. But Colton Ogburn, you know, the guy who's trapped in our TV but doesn't know, so please don't tell him, he makes a good point that in the multiverse saga, it makes sense for the greatest villain to be a variant of the greatest hero. Now, we have thrown out a ton of Doctor Doom theories, and we're not going to slow down anytime soon. Some of these theories are likely, and some of them we think are just kind of silly and fun, and others are just wishful thinking.
I don't think
but
he'll
all
be
we
a
know
variant,
for
though.
sure is that the Russo brothers have said that only Robert Downey Jr. could play this version of Doctor Doom, and that it all connects to Tony's snap in Avengers Endgame. Now, during the multiverse saga, we learned that universes are essentially created when events occur just a little bit differently, like the Watcher says in What If.
Agent Carter, wouldn't you be more comfortable in the booth?
No, I'd prefer to stay.
There. That's the moment that created
But we're gonna have Peggy Carter, bro.
And in Loki, we saw that when a person strays from their
Feeding
predetermined path,
Dr. Doom.
they split off into a new universe. And that new universe can spread chaos and eventually multiversal war. So for every reality, we have to
I need to
ask, well, what
sneeze.
was the branching off point?
Every choice you could make existing all at
Excuse me?
once.
What's he saying? What's he
You're
saying?
inside Schrodinger's box, and you're the cat.
What If Season 3 established that there are realities that are just weird, like that Old West reality, but usually, for a universe to exist, there has to be a diverging point. Now, based on the Russo's comment about the snap, most people around the internet seem to agree that in Doom's universe, the snap did not kill Tony Stark. And we agree, so let's ride this theory out.
It's a whole different universe.
Tony Stark snaps at the end of Endgame but does not die. So think about Tony's personality. Before he became a superhero, he was a prideful, selfish, egotistical jerk who designed weapons for money.
Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both?
And after he was kidnapped, he became a prideful, selfish, egotistical jerk who instead designed weapons for his own pleasure. He built Stark Tower as a monument to himself. He created Ultron because deep down, he believed that only he had the power to fix the world's problems by creating an AI and then lying about it to the team.
I see a suit of armor around the world.
Sounds like a cold world, Tony.
I've seen colder. Peace in our time.
And in Captain America Civil War, he sought to control the Avengers and force them to fall in line. Hell, even in Infinity War, his pride prevents him from calling Steve Rogers. And afterwards, he blames other people for his problems.
That what we needed
Well, he said that we're
was
gonna
a
be
suit of
together.
armor around the world. Remember that?
And
Whether it
they
impacted
weren't.
our precious
Oh.
freedoms.
Iron Man 3 shows us that for Tony, being Iron Man is an addiction. He can't help himself. Even in Avengers Infinity War, he tells Pepper that he can't live without his suit.
You don't need that.
I know I had the surgery. I'm just trying to protect us. Future us's, and that's it. Just in case there's a monster in the closet.
Tony is a control freak, and he never stops being a control freak.
Give me a break!
I feel
You gotta know what's next.
What's wrong there, little
Or at
buddy?
least be
I'm
able to
exhausted.
prevent it.
I had a family reunion yesterday, and my little cousins wore me out.
Bruh. What the hell's going
Oh, I know
on?
that feeling, man. It's summertime, the weather's nice, and you're so excited when you go out that you overdo it. In fact, I went out last night, too. So you feel pretty bad, too? No, not really, because before my first drink, I had a pre-alcohol from Z-Biotics. They're the sponsor of this video. Guys, Z-Biotics, I hand the alcohol, tackle sick byproduct, and pre alcohol by for any battery. Peter getting snapped away drove him to invent time travel and undo the snap, or how his desire to avenge his
I mean, that's
parents
where it
drove him
makes
to break
sense.
up the Avengers
'Cause
and
the
try
time
to
travel
murder Bucky.
thing.
He killed my mom.
So what happens to Tony Stark when he snaps away Thanos? Pepper is no longer there to tell him that it's okay and he can go to sleep.
We're gonna be okay. You can rest now.
So maybe Tony decides to not die.
I'm not fucking leaving!
His face is now scarred, like Dr. Doom, and he's able to harness the power of the stones to stand on his own 2 feet. Maybe he even sees Pepper in Soul World, like in this deleted scene when he meets his daughter. Now, Thanos, for all of his grandeur, never really saw
I don't
power.
think so.
He wanted to make sure that the disaster that befell his home planet of Titan never happened anywhere else. When his mission was finished, he retired and destroyed the stones.
Watch the sunrise on a
So there's
grateful
still a lot of
universe.
stone left.
But what would
There's a
Tony do
Loki
if he
series.
survived the snap and had the Infinity Stones? Like, even if Pepper had lived, I don't think Tony would give the stones up. And hell, maybe in this reality Morgan was never born, and that's what severs Tony's ties to humanity and allows Pepper to be driven away. But with her gone, without his main tie to humanity, Tony would keep the rocks so he can continue to use them to do good.
Oh, yeah,
and after
Tony
all,
would've kept
Thanos
that.
said,
The stones serve no purpose beyond temptation.
I could see Tony on the battlefield, rising up, and Bruce saying, "Okay, Tony, we have to return the stones." And Tony, touches the scar on his face, and like Isildur in Mount Doom, he says, "No." Raises his mask to cover those scars. Tony would want to use the stones to fix the planet. I mean, billions of people just reappeared out of nowhere, and he could create a perfect world for them. Remember Tony's ego here, his constant need to tinker, and his belief that he is always right. So Tony would promise to turn Earth into a paradise.
What if next time aliens roll up to the club, and they will, they couldn't get past the bouncer?
The only people threatening the planet would be people.
Now, before I go even further down this rabbit hole and talk about what Tony does to the Avengers in his universe and how this sets up Doomsday and Secret Wars, I want to address my #1 pet peeve about Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom. That, in my mind, Dr. Doom should always be a Latvian boy named Victor Von Doom. But maybe Tony Stark always was from Latveria.
Now, just say right now?
So in Avengers Endgame, when Howard Stark says to Tony that his wife is pregnant, Tony looks confused.
They would have
my
to
wife's
change it
expecting.
though.
And, too much time at the office.
Congratulations.
Maybe Maria's pregnancy didn't quite line up with his birthday. And this could be because Maria miscarried and Howard adopted a boy from Latveria and then named him Tony.
You
Uh,
Palpatine.
And this isn't
I
too
don't
far
think
from the
so.
comics, which recently revealed that Tony actually was adopted. Unless they've retconned that, it's kind of hard to keep track. And there's also one part of MCU lore that validates this theory. Remember in Iron Man 2 when we see Howard Stark treat his kid like shit?
Come on, go, 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 go.
But then later on, when he's talking to the camera, he tells his shitty kid,
I built this for you. It represents my life's work. This is the key to the future.
Now, why would Howard Stark ever think that this little brat who he doesn't like could someday be smart enough
He
to
knew he
invent
was
a new
smart.
element?
Congratulations,
But-
son. You have created a new element.
Well, in the Ultimate Comics,
about
Tony's
that.
dad actually did experiments on him to make him smarter. Maybe Howard Stark did the same thing to his adopted son Tony. So he treats him like shit because he's adopted, but he knows that someday this kid will be a mega genius because Howard manipulated his DNA. And hey, as long as we're getting nuts, let's even say that Howard could have experimented on Tony with the energy of the
Bruh, I
Tesseract.
don't like this
After
theory.
all, we
I
have
don't
seen the
think so.
Infinity Stones enhance people like Wanda, Carol, Pietro, and Jane Foster, so why would Howard not use that Tesseract energy to turn his son into a super genius?
What is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
This would also explain why the Mind Stone didn't work on him.
This usually works.
All performance issues,
And it would also explain how he was able to handle the power
He
of
had
the
a
Infinity
little
Stones to begin with.
thing there, that's why.
Stones, it seems, can only be brandished by beings of extraordinary strength.
And guys, I am so excited to show you these new shirts that we just launched for our merch store. Now, we made these special for the movies that are coming out next month. First, check out the July 2025 shirt showing 2 rockets passing each other, the Fantastic Four and Cap War. We have this pair celebrating the retro future John Carpenter's and get free stuff. I just want to thank you guys so much. And he's
They know
now
when to
working
make
to
that
fix
merch,
the
though.
planet. And I think that
I
at
ain't mad
first
at
he
it.
works along with the Avengers to make the world a better place. He would form a new World Security Council with himself as the president. And this is just like in the comics when he becomes the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and takes responsibility for world security. And I think the people of Earth would love to have Iron Man as their leader. I mean, he is the hero who just saved the universe and brought all of their loved ones back to life.
They love me.
Now at first, Tony
I
would
mean,
not
he's
be a
not wrong
dictator.
about that.
He would dispatch the Avengers to fight real threats. But gradually, Tony allows himself to slide more and more into dictator territory. He monitors people's personal lives, slowly taking away their freedoms. He's anticipating threats before they happen. He is the suit of armor around the world and basically becomes a more kind version of Hydra.
I have successfully privatized world peace.
So, the superheroes who oppose him would be arrested and locked up in the raft, just like they were in Civil War. And maybe Steve isn't even around to challenge him because he went into the past to be with
Steve
Peggy,
would be
and
the
now he's
first
an old
one
man.
out, bruh.
Remember, the Stones are also at play here,
He
helping
is
to corrupt
definitely
Tony's
cut.
ego. But also, let's not forget, this is the multiverse saga. Bruce warned everyone that they had to return the stones or bad things would happen to other realities.
Without our chief weapon against the forces of darkness, our world would be overrun.
So Tony's refusal to return the stones would cause those multiversal calamities that the Ancient One warned about. But Tony would not be fazed by this. He would just say, fine, well, let's go fix those
he'll know
universes
how to
too.
fix it
Tony
too.
would use his time GPS to travel to those other realities to help them. And as he's helping them, he gathers knowledge, he fights other threats, but most importantly, he gains and keeps weapons and technology that
keeps
are
getting
more advanced
powerful.
than what he currently has. And maybe at one point he's almost killed by a sorcerer, so he realizes, well, I gotta go learn some magic.
Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizard.
Remember, Stephen Strange became a master sorcerer for two reasons. One, he has a photographic memory, like Tony Stark.
How did you get to reattach severed nerves and put a human spine back together, bone by bone?
Study and practice, years of it.
And reason number two, Strange spent centuries practicing his craft in the Dark Dimension, dying over and over again while facing Dormammu.
I've come to bargain.
That's actually
Tony
crazy.
Stark could do the same thing, honing his magic abilities in one of these timeless dimensions. And the whole time, Tony would never see himself as a villain. He would see himself as a cursed martyr who had to remain in his iron shell, cut off from the rest of the world. And he wouldn't use magic to heal his face for the same reason that Stephen Strange can't heal his hands. The power of that sorcery needs to be used to help others. Or, you know, like Wanda said,
Ultron can't tell the difference between saving the world and destroying it. Where do you think he gets
They're gonna
that?
be Dr.
but the
Doom
Infinity
too.
Stones would also make Tony aware of the broader multiverse, just like Ultron and What If.
There are universes beyond my own.
But we
And
need to
so
get that
he becomes
Ultron
aware
too,
of
bro.
incursions. What's an incursion? Take it away, Jim.
An incursion occurs when the boundary between two universes erodes and they collide, destroying one or both entirely.
Now, the whole point of an incursion in the comics
get a
is
lot
that
of
it presents
those.
the heroes with a trolley problem. If they destroy another Earth, it kills billions of people, but it would save two universes. So for Tony Stark, this is just simple math. I mean, Pepper died defending his planet, and it must be saved at all costs. Even if Pepper lived and told Tony he shouldn't do this, I think that he would still sacrifice another planet to save his own. After all,
Yeah,
his arrogance
he
drove
wouldn't
her
care.
away before.
A few years ago, I almost lost her, so I trashed all my
Can't blame
suits.
him, I guess.
And then, I never stopped. Because the truth is, I don't want to stop.
And this would drive the Avengers away, especially Steve, who would never agree to killing billions.
We don't trade lives, Vision.
So Tony's decision to use the stones to destroy other Earths turns the Avengers against him. And this means that Tony has to not only fight his former team, but he has to enslave them. He uses the Mind Stone to make them obey him. And maybe Steve Rogers could use that de-aging machine to become young again and lead a rebellion against Tony.
It's baby.
It's Scott.
As a baby.
He'll grow.
Bring Scott back.
And maybe when Tony is forced to kill Steve, he even gives himself this name, Doom, to remind everybody of what happens if they cross him.
That would be crazy if he kills him.
I am what remains.
That would
Doom
be a good
decides
start
that
to
the
the
only way
movie,
to
though.
keep his reality safe is to stop threats from other realities before they happen. He becomes aware of Kang and wipes out that whole arena of Kangs. He goes to the TVA and uses their time doors to fix every reality in the multiversal tree before they can harm his reality. Some worlds just have to go because they're too dangerous. But Tony, who is the ultimate futurist, would always see the end result of this ever-expanding multiverse. Every time he prunes a reality, it just causes more realities to spring up in its place. You know, sort of like what Princess Leia said.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Sorry, I meant this.
The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers.
Doom sees the infinite calculus of the multiverse and determines that there really is no way this ends well for anyone. No matter what, the endless cascading realities will always spell out the doom of the multiverse. So he concludes that the
You need
multiverse,
Loki.
like the Avengers, needs to be kept in check. He's going to save what he can of the multiverse and condense it into one single world. And he would recognize that when differing voices come into play, they always spin off and create more realities. So he would have to rule this world with an iron hand as God Emperor Doom.
Whether it impacted our precious freedoms or not, that's what we needed.
Now for me, the most believable part of Tony Stark becoming Dr. Doom is that he has a massive ego.
Agreed?
He even admits this in the Avengers.
How does it look?
Like Christmas, but with more me.
So Avengers Doomsday will be about an incursion coming for the 616 universe. Or maybe it's about the arrival of Doom and his mind-controlled Avengers, like the leader said.
We'll see what happens when you have to protect this place from the others.
There's 100 ways this could shake out to pit Doom against the Avengers.
I don't
the
think he's
Fantastic
gonna
Four,
fight
and
them
the
right
X-Men.
away.
But what I like most about
But
this
who
is, in a
knows?
meta way, this is perfect. Phases 4 and 5 have been overshadowed by the Infinity Saga. Nearly every project has dealt with heroes reeling from the loss of actors who have left the franchise. So new heroes like Sam Wilson are constantly fighting against the expectations of what came before.
You're not Steve Rogers.
So, what better opponent for these new Avengers to face than the looming legacies of the other heroes that overshadow them? But what do you guys think? Is this really the best Doctor Doom theory? Do you think that Robert Downey Jr. should be Doctor Doom? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below,
I don't know
or at me
about
on
the
Twitter,
theory,
Blue Sky
but
Threads, or on our free-to-join
I
Discord
don't think he'll
server.
be
And if it's
back.
your first time here, please subscribe and smash.
But I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.